All right, everyone. So we will get started. Does anyone want to start first with their reading? We'll all go around and read our what we said about the piece.
I'll start.
Okay.
Okay, so what story is taking place? Honestly, you could see it looked like a couple in the middle to me, and like the blue thing reminded me of like an aisle. Maybe I have like wedding fever, and so it reminded me of a wedding scene and a couple during the day. With the mood of the artwork, it seems happy and bright, and the color scheme makes me think that what is this work of art about? Like I said, I think it's about a wedding and just about love and happiness and peace. And what is it really trying to communicate? That I really wasn't sure about. It just seemed like a bright, happy jungle scene to me. And what did it remind me of? It reminds me that it reminds me of impressionism work that just wasn't that great because of the brushstrokes and the lack of, how it's kind of supposed to seem like something from afar, but I just didn't get that. And then how does this art relate to your aspect of the life? I'm starting an indoor garden, so it made me think of that. So I just harvested my basil and my mint, and so I'm getting some new seeds started. So that's my interpretation. So that's
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Who's next?
I'll go.
Okay.
I'll just kind of sum mine up a little bit. I said that the painting was like a tele-like piece, and that the background seems to be like a serene forest, like maybe the spring or summer, where all the trees are like green and blooming, and it's like perfect place for like a picnic. And I said it feels like kind of like the moment has like was like frozen in time, and you can enter it and sense nature, or like like when you're a little kid and you just have no worries in the world and just go play on the park or whatever. I said the mood, it seems like peaceful and calm, because the colors are not so bright, and like the painting of the brushstrokes are like soft, so you can feel like it feels like comfortable in your heart. And then it says like the mood, it encourages you to like breathe deeply and like relax, or like like just like a meditation kind of like area. I see it as joy of nature, being comfortable with what's surrounding us and accepting the little things that bring us peace. I think the artist was just trying to convey like how to be connected with nature and kind of like the world around us, and not try to be so into like what's going on in the world, like this social media or in your phone, and kind of like how it is today. Everybody's kind of just like stuck in their own world and like don't go out in nature, take a walk, things like that. About the artwork, I think that it just takes me back to like my childhood, and like just like having no care in the world and just loving nature, just going to play in the grass, play outside with your neighbors, the kids on the block. And then how the painting relates to my life. Again, I just feel like it kind of brings me back to how I felt when I was like a little kid. Like I mentioned Shrek earlier, like I watched that all the time when I was younger, and the colors kind of like pop up. I was like Shrek, and like when I think of that, I just kind of think of like having no worries and just wanting to just go out and have fun instead of having to worry about homework and stuff.
Perfect. All right. Who's gonna be next?
I can go.
Okay.
I said that the painting would take place like in a park or in the mountains. It reminded me of a trail that I've been on, because there's a little like creek on the trail, and I thought that's what the blue represented in the painting. And I just said that like going on hikes and clearing your mind was what the artist was trying to represent, like the calmness that nature can bring to you when you are so overwhelmed, and that it's good for your mental health to sometimes just get out and breathe the air and see the beauty of Mother Nature and everything that was created. And I mean, I don't like the outdoors. I don't really like going outside, but I mean, the hikes I've been on, I do come back feeling like more refreshed and relaxed. So that's what was my point of view of the painting.
All right. Who's
I'm
next? Okay.
What I wrote is that in the picture I saw like a man that was picking out like fruit or checking his flowers. And I also said that the mood of the art piece is peaceful and calming because you're being surrounded by so many plants, and being in that sort of like setting helps clear your mind and helps like free you from any stress or worry. And that's what I wrote, that this piece of art is about connecting with nature and how it can help boost your mood. And I think the artist was trying to communicate how beautiful nature can be. And I put that reminded me of my grandpa's garden back in Mexico. He has a really big garden that looks like a forest. And he would also be very attentive when it came to watering all his plants, as well as picking fruits from the tree. And this art relates to an aspect of my life when it comes to how I feel in nature. And yeah, that's what I wrote.
Perfect. All right, Mateo, do you want to go ahead and, I know you're on your work break, but
No, absolutely. I was just
Okay.
waiting to
perfect.
get a point of reference. I unfortunately have been a little bit preoccupied with some things, but
Oh yeah, we appreciate you're here.
of course, I would like to do my part. It would be unfair of me, but I find it fascinating. Everybody was talking about the painting and its conjuncture with trying to incorporate oneself with nature. But when I looked at it, I immediately assumed it to be chaotic, in the sense that you look at something like a Jackson Pollock painting, and it's such chaotic brush strokes and paint splashes that you start to wonder what it's supposed to convey. And I think this kind of takes a shape of its own, where due to it being so heavy on its colors and contrasts of different type of textures and brush strokes, that it makes you look at it in the sense, like if you were in a safari, nothing is symmetrical, nothing is even, things are twisted, morphed. But I kind of view it like it's its own entity, like it's breathing. And the setting, somewhere in like a tropical area, thinking either the rainforest, like places like Indonesia. The mood, it's cathartic, but it also tells so much. I think this work is about just overall recognizing the intricacies within nature, not only within its like beauty, but also how it functions, and how so much of these different types of species that clash with one another, that are symbiotically connected, that you kind of see how it all incorporates within itself. And then I think what it reminds me of is being in Vegas. You're surrounded by deserts, you're surrounded by cactuses, palm trees, mountains, so you kind of get like an inverted viewpoint of nature, where it's almost desolate. So I think it's a juxtaposition to what I'm used to, but it reminds me of like those paintings that you see in your grade school, like teachers' walls to liven up the class. And then how does it relate to an aspect of my life? I think it's, for me, the antithesis of living. And that sounds kind of, how do you say it? Like corny, but I do think that there is a beauty within being amongst the chaos, being one of many, and as opposed to feeling like you're a singular part of a ever changing, ever evolving, area. It's oddly beautiful. What you do lays the foundation for the next coming species, flower in this circumstance. It's like it's oddly beautiful for it being so much. But yeah, that was pretty much the gist.
That's a lot of big words. That was good. I know Michael couldn't be here, but I'm going to read his real quick, and then I'll get to mine. So Michael says, when I look at the image, the green's extreme density hits me right away. We get the impression that we're seeing into a secret universe rather than a landscape. A sense of depth is created by the layers of greenery, suggesting that there is always more to uncover just beyond our line of sight. It brings back memories of muggy summer days when light filtered through the leaves, forming these varying patterns of shadow and light. In my opinion, the setting is calm, almost quiet. Although the profusion of green is naturally soothing, there's a sense of mystery present as well. It resembles the subdued interest of a secret garden rather than a dramatic mystery. That, in my opinion, results from the way the light interacts with the leaves, exposing some parts while concealing others. This picture seems to be whispering secrets. This deep connection to nature is what I believe the artist is attempting to portray. Capturing the sensation of being surrounded by nature and finding serenity and renewal in its companies is more important than a simple painting or beautiful picture. Every leaf rustle and dappled patch of sunshine felt like a new discovery during those early forest explorations. This place inspires awe and serves as a reminder of the complex beauty that is frequently overlooked in day-to-day existence. Since nature is still my getaway, this piece speaks to me. I go there to unwind and reestablish a connection with myself, whether it's through a picnic in the park or a mountain hike. I get a sense of peace and wonder from nature, and this painting captures that. I feel like that's kind of relating to like how some of us were like, oh, like it's a forest, or oh, like it was like something with a picnic or something in the trees. I will now read mine. Mine is a lot shorter. But mine says, to me, this picture looks like it's taking place in the woods of some kind. That it's in the daytime, with a bright sun and clouds. However, I thought that the sun didn't really reach the ground because all of like the trees were blocking it. I also saw like that blue stream at the bottom of the bright, beautiful woods that I saw. The mood to me in this piece is very happy and optimistic. Just like the bright sun, how it's beaming with joy. This painting oddly reminded me of a Bob Marley song. It's called The Sun is Shining. And I feel like that song kind of just, if it was played in the background, I think it would fit. The woods also remind me of what like a Disney princess fairy tale would look like a story, like where it would take place. The art relates to my life, as I feel like this kind of reminds me of like good days and like to, you know, be happy, and you know, the sun is beaming and that we should all be happy with no worries. It definitely gives me a good feeling to look at this painting and a reason to smile. So with that being said, I feel like we all kind of, what do we think? How should we make this abstract story? Like, where, does anyone have any suggestions as to where we should start? I feel like we all like how peaceful and calm it is, but does anyone have any suggestions?
Well, there was a common thread amongst everyone's responses given its environment and what it signifies. Abstract in the sense of like a story, like how would we organize that? If that could be the main focal point, how would we build around it? Like, it'd be cool if it was like actually, I don't know. What would be abstract? I'm not the best when it comes to identifying abstract.
It's a great question.
Like maybe we should just start with like how we all feel the setting is.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I feel like we can kind of just go from there and like take a piece of what we all said.
Yeah.
And kind of like put it together. So like maybe include what he says is like, he feels it's kind of like, what he say? Doing a lot, like, or something like that. He said he didn't feel like it was peaceful. He felt like it was
Chaotic.
Yeah, chaotic. He said he felt like it was chaotic. So I mean, we can like hint that in the story.
Honestly, after he said that, it makes so much more sense. There's not really anything peaceful about this. It is kind of in your face and chaotic. Once he said that, I got a whole new like feel for this picture. It totally changed my whole interpretation.
I was looking at the red. I'm like, oh my god, is that blood?
Is that blood? Are those people being killed
Yeah.
down there? Like what? Like, because I did think that the first time, and I didn't want to be dark, so I didn't go that route. But what is that? What is any? None of it makes sense to me.
I mean,
I don't. I see some trees and some leaves. Like, you guys, I don't. Maybe we should just follow
So,
like
I
the
mean,
rubric of the questions.
Yeah.
And then let's make it our own, like a group.
Yeah, so I mean, if that's because if on first glance you guys feel like it was peaceful, and then once you start going deep into it, you feel like it's chaotic, and then we could start our story like that. Like, hey, it started off as a great day, and then maybe something during the day turned it terrible, and then
Yeah.
now you.
The bride's side got murdered by the groom's side, and that's why it's all bloody over there.
I
Okay,
was
so
having a good day, and my pants ripped, and then Nebby goes walking down in the forest, and I
Yeah.
noticed my pants got ripped by the bear, and then now I'm
Oh.
dead, or something like that. Like,
okay, so setting. What should we all agree on? I know some people said hikes, some people said woods, forest. What do we kind of?
I like sticking with the scene, just the forest scene.
All right, everyone agree forest
How it
scene.
makes us feel.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we can.
We all, I noticed with everyone's response, there was like, we each in some shape or form mentioned one of the five senses, how it felt,
Mm-hmm.
how it, what was seen. You could even describe, you could even say like how it would smell. You can almost envision what would it smell like fresh, but like with the water.
Snow carpet.
Mm-hmm. That'd be perfect.
Maybe we should do a Vegas spin on it.
It's
Sorry,
like
I'm getting off. Sorry.
no, you're good.
No. If we maybe that could be another focal point in the story of like sensory overload.
Yeah.
It's so much, and how would we process it? And like, what is the immediate thing? I know Michael, he had a very beautiful and like poignant description of it in his way of discussing like the light and the density and how much it almost consumes light in a sense. That's what a lot of forests do in a way.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be cool. I mean, that could be something that just gives it a little bit more style in the midst of us saying that it's a forest.
You're saying. Maybe, yeah, I see what you're saying. Maybe it could be something to where like you go on a trip to the woods or to the forest with your family, and then you take a nap and you wake up and you realize all your family's gone, and now it's dark because you're lost in the woods.
Ooh.
Yeah. Maybe it could be like a story like that or something, because we kind of wanted to go from like being like, oh, I'm so happy, I feel so happy at first, to then feeling like, what am I gonna do? Like everything is like, I'm scared, you know?
That is
Yeah.
that is perfect.
Because when you get lost, like you don't see everything clearly, and this picture is not clear at all. So
You're right.
You're lost, and everything looks so weird because you don't know where you are.
Right.
Yes. How do we feel about that? I feel like we got some
That feels
ooze in
good.
there.
I'll just wrap it up. I put it together. How are we gonna do that?
Do we need like people? Like a who's the is it like a do we care if it's a girl or a boy, the main character?
Are we supposed to be writing this up, or are we just like saying it in our Zoom?
It's a great question.
I think we're just saying, and then the recording's gonna capture it all, and she's just gonna watch the recording.
Yeah. So
Okay,
like
Like one person, we need to come up with a story, and then one person.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tell it.
So I feel like we just kind of, I feel like maybe we all should just kind of like add to the story. Like one person starts the story off, and then the last person like conclude it with like, and then like maybe like the one person conclude like, and then when I went back to sleep, I woke up and I realized it was all a dream. Because sometimes our dreams can be like scary, like, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe we started off like, oh, I was in this forest, and we decided to take a family trip to the woods, to the forest, and we all were playing pickleball.
She used bits and pieces from everyone's story.
Okay.
So let's do that.
I don't think
Yeah.
anyone said that they were lost in our stories, but I feel like that's okay.
You said kind of like, well, it's saying like use bits and pieces of like how we view the story to make a new story. So since we all kind of like figured out how we viewed the story, now we can kind of make our new story.
Yeah. Like how we're we're all in forest. Most of us said that. We all mostly said how
We were happy,
it was peaceful.
and then we got lost.
Yeah. All right. And then we can like talk about how we were on a trip with our family in a cabin in the woods, and then the whole lost concept, and then how everything just like turned into chaos, and then you can like see that in the brush strokes, or however, I don't know how you guys want to say it, but yeah, we can do that. Does everyone kind of agree on that?
Yeah, so everyone just kind of like think of something and like put something in. Like we'll figure out who starts it, and then after that, kind of which way you want to go and how it gets ended. Because no matter what, it's going to be a creative story, no matter how we all
All right, perfect.
put it in there.
All right, who wants to start this intro?
It looks like there's only 9 minutes left.
Yeah, I don't know
Okay,
why.
so we gotta go fast.
I don't know why it says
No.
that. I'm so sorry, guys.
Okay, I can start it off.
Okay.
Well, we need one person to just tell it all the way through.
Yeah,
Okay.
it says one person must read your new interpretation.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So do we all have like ideas of what we want it to be? And then one person can
I
just
like-
say it, and then if we like that idea, we can just roll with it.
That
Family
works.
trip. Kid loves the view, gets caught up in it, gets lost from the family, and then starts to look around, and then it becomes chaotic. Turn of
Yes.
events. A little bit of a switcheroo.
All right.
Okay, so Mateo, you're telling the story.
All the way
Mhm.
through
I think
big
you're
words.
doing great.
All right.
Big
I'm gonna wing it.
words.
This is off the top of the head, but
Yeah.
okay. There once was a boy. No, that's not even. Once upon a time, there was a boy. A boy and his family are on a trip. He doesn't usually go out with his family much, but he knew that he was very excited to go on this one particularly. He was so eager to see these pictures that he would see in books in class. After a grueling ride and a ways away hike, he finds himself in the middle of this beautiful foliage of greenery. The trees, the flowers, even down to the soil that gave roots to these magnificent opuses. He wanders around entranced by their beauty. It's almost as if he's no longer walking, as opposed to just being one of the plants, investing, giving himself up fully. After a point, and once the sun starts to die down and it is consumed by said trees, he turns around, he can't find out where his parents are. Suddenly, as he turns his head left and right, up and down, trying to get a grasp of where he was, then came the reality of what makes nature so beautiful, yet horrific. It's chaotic, organized chaos. Things that aren't supposed to work that do, that manage to overcome evolution, extinction, rebirth. He is engulfed now in this chaos. He tries to retrace his steps, and when all seems lost, he sits down on one of the rocks. It's right next to a river that is having a current that soon directs him back to his family. The end.
It's
Wow.
actually really good.
Yeah, a lot of
Thank
big
you.
words.
Thank you.
That
Yeah.
was heck of good.
All right, do we all do we all
I'm
collectively
getting red in the face. Oh, Lord.
Are you gonna be like a writer when you're older, or like what?
I hope you guys like that. The whole
I
he was
could've-
once like
that was-
Yeah.
embraced with it. Now he's in gold.
Oh yeah, you just came up with it too. Like wow. All right,
Thank
how
you.
do we feel about that? Are we all good with
like
that?
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
everyone's good. All
Yes,
right.
I think that was good. That was perfect.
All right, I think it was good too. I'll go ahead and